Okay, I said I'd do a trio of mushrooms, and I did, but as I was doing the trio, I thought that there was yet another way that I could do a mushroom, and by changing the axis. In this case, not off axis, but just shifting the axis away from the center towards one of the edges of the limb. So I'm aiming for about 1/3 of the circumference in the natural edge or the bark. The consequence of this is that it was fairly off-center to begin with, so I put the guard down, as I do value my safety and my health, and left it down until the blank was quite round, and then I felt that I was safe in lifting it up and just using my face shield for protection. I'm aiming for about 1/3 of the total height in cap and 2/3 in the stem. We'll see how close I get. This blank has some checks on the end as it's green apricot, and so I had to avoid those. And then tool it down. Acquired a bidan over the weekend from a retiring woodworker, so able to use it to waste away under the cap a little bit more, and then go in with the gouge to clean it up and to actually undercut most of the cap with the large bull gouge. Then I did have to shift down to a smaller spindle gouge, as I couldn't get enough of an angle from this direction without hitting the headstock of the lathe. And more cleaning up here. Had to work some left-handed, some right-handed. That's a new experience for me. I'll have to practice more left-handed wood turning. Then clean up a little bit more with the skew on the stem, as it leaves a nice finish on there. Then time to get rid of the nub on the cap. Turn it off with the detail gouge. Get it free, and then I'm almost ready for sanding. For sanding, I'll use the same mineral oil and beeswax mix that I have for the last little bit. That's 1 pint of mineral oil to 4 ounces of beeswax. Melt it in your double boiler. Don't use your wife's double boiler, use a scrap one. She doesn't like cleaning it, at least mine didn't. Initially sanding it with that wax with the 80 grit sandpaper makes a very much a slurry paste of the wax and oil, but it does contain the dust and make it a lot easier to sand. So I used it through all grits and up to 600 grit sandpaper. Then a final polish with a little bit more beeswax and oil, and on a paper towel, then parted off. I sanded the bottom of the stem at a slight angle to offset the weight being more on one side of the mushroom than the other, and there we go. There's probably one more axis orientation that could be tried. I'm not going to do it. That is a multi-axis turning. That's not for me right now. Later on maybe I can, but I value my hands too much on that, and I'll leave that to somebody else. But I like this little mushroom. If you like it, press like on your video, and if you'd like to see a different thing on a project, let me know. I may give it a try. Thank you.